Hey guys, how you guys doing today? That's good. So, I so I have a good Christmas. Leave a comments below if you did. So far, my little alien been hanging out with me, and we'll be doing some fun things. So, anyways, uh, I had unfortunately I have this today. I end up had this thing on my chest, this heart monitor that like tells the time of my heart and shit. And then I had to keep it on like the fucking 24th all the way to 26th. So that wasn't fun. So this is how I felt when finally they take it off of me. Yeah, that's how I think of it. But yeah, that's how that's what I think about it. Yep, just take that fucking shit off me. Oh my god, it was a nightmare. I had to sleep with it. I can't take a shower, so that was a nightmare. But all in all, let me just talk about this one game that's been really contemplated and very shit on for the past few months. Uh, which is of course everyone, which of course you saw the fucking title, so we might as well talk about Death Stranding, a game that has been really a lot of people didn't really like it. It was the Alien, Bionic Pig, so many people that didn't really like the game, including my brother, and including many other people as well. And granted, yes, it is a really boring, a very boring game when it comes to like the pacing of it. And I'm not complaining about the gameplay though. I think the gameplay is all right of how it is, but the one thing, how the way they do it, is just really like because like whenever time I watch these let's players like play these game like 8 bytes, fucking I don't know, so many like the Brad, whatever. Everyone just watch. Well, you see them and you just like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. Now, granted, of course, uh, Bionic Pig and Elvis Alien or Penguin Zero are they're kind of fucking stupid because like why would you ever climb up the fucking mountain, dude? While you have a bunch of shit, you know what's gonna happen. I feel like I know they're trying to like rush it through, and that's understandable. That's completely understandable. If you think this is it's a chilled game. It's not like the most greatest, funnest game in the galaxy, of course. There's many fun games to play, but this game is mainly just. Of course, everyone's gonna be like a fucking broken record player of this, a walking simulator, a fucking boring piece of shit game, and everyone's gonna leave comments right now. Eddie, you're fucking stupid. I'm gonna throw hands on you for the fucking wig. Okay, but I don't think the game is bad. Granted, yes, the boss are not very interesting. I would say there's a lot of things you could criticize Death Stranding, but at least the game itself is actually really entertaining. Granted, no, I did not play the game. I tend not to play the game because I end up watching the whole playthrough through many people. But the thing is, I just don't have the time for it because I got a lot of stuff to work on, especially for you guys. But yeah, Death Stranding was a pretty good game, all in all. And the thing is with this is a lot of people had no patience for it because unlike Twitch streamers and many other people as well, they don't really have the patience for it. If fucking Tyler, if Tyler, bitch, motherfucker. Anyways, if Tyler 1 play the game, it wouldn't really been much different, because Tyler 1 is literally like play like games like for hours and hours. And I think he too would say, this is a pretty good game. It's not the greatest, but it's alright. I mean, at least with Tyler 1. I don't know. It all depends. But at this point, it felt like people were just rushing through shit and not just like take its time on it, you know? Like, yes, it's a slow burn type game. A game that you wish you should take your time as. And like our Bionic Pig said, Bionic Pig said, that it's a terrible masterpiece. Okay. The reason why, I get what he's saying, but yeah, it's like, alright, but you're mainly just complaining about, like, the gameplay of it. Like, yeah, I mean, that's just basically what it is. It's, well, when you think about it, I feel like these people didn't really acknowledge the trailers. Like, you see what the trailer is, you see what's it like. It's basically just walking. What the fuck else you're gonna do, dude? Come on. Huh? I kind of have a feeling it's basically going to be based on walking, which I'm not surprised. I am not nearly surprised, because the game itself the trailers itself literally have written so many hints for you. I don't understand why everyone's complaining about this. It should be very obvious enough that the fact that it's 60 minutes long, that's kind of obvious enough that it's mainly on walking. That's basically it. It's mainly walking. But unless it's like side missions and stuff, then yes, of course, it's going to be a little longer. But again, that's basically what it is. People treat it so bad that, like, oh, it's 60-minute long. Fuck me. I don't want. No, you could ride a bike. You could take a car. You could still have the same. You could still like skip time and stuff. I don't understand why people like bitch and complain about the walking thing, because you could solve everything of that by getting a fucking ladder or fucking ropes. This is not hard. This should not be hard. Granted, yes, there's some Let's Players struggle, but not very much. It's not really a lot. Yeah, it's like, sure, it's a delivery, but that's the concept of a delivery. You go back and forth with all that shit. That's the idea of it. And that's what completely makes sense when it comes to deliveries. And of course, you can make a decision to whether or not you can actually send those side deliveries to the machine. And that's hella cool. Or you can give the deliveries to these random people that you ran across with. And that's actually fucking cool. However, now, on the side of the gameplay of it, I wasn't really a big fan of the boss fights, though. The boss fights were not very, there weren't really much to do with it, besides just throw your grenades and just shoot at it. It's not really much to do. And granted, yes, it's a really cool visuals and boss fight when it comes to the boss fight. However, it isn't really impactful when you think about it, because it's just basically just some tentacle monster or a sea creature just go chase you. There's no tactics you have to use to dodge or whatever, like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Any of those type of games that brings a fucking hard ass boss. But this one's not very challenging. It's more nitpicky thing. But whatever, it's just what I think. However, I'm not saying all bosses are like that. I'm saying there's some bosses are like that. However, I think there's one boss I truly enjoy was, of course, Cliff. Cliff was really honestly the most coolest fucking bosses I've ever seen. Not only because of its cool visuals and its really creative idea of a different dimension, but it reminds me so much of the game The Darkness. And god damn it, I really need to play this theme song for you guys, so hold the fuck a minute. When you see the big ass fucking storm, and you see whales going up there, and you see yourself floating into that fucking storm, and then out of nowhere, you wake and you see this awesome cutscene showing Cliff out of this tar-like river. It's filled with these fucked up baby dolls things. And you see the skeleton connected with ability cords. And just so fucking awesome. And each time you see Cliff, it's so very interesting. And his visuals are so beautiful. And his character himself is so fucking good. It reminds me so much of Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate. How the way his story, where he's such a badass, but you really feel bad for him of what he is and how he become this. And he had no choice. He had to become like this in order to survive and bring hope to people. And it's really sad. And then you woke up in this fucking horrible nightmare. One thought that came to mind, flashback. Oh shit! This looks like darkness, and then you see all this shit coming out of nowhere. Planes are flying, tanks are shooting at you, and then when you saw Cliff again, when you're fighting him, holy fuck, it was awesome. And you could pick up guns and stuff, and just like a badass boss fight. And every time you see Cliff, it's always different scenarios again, and different war scenarios. And this game, the boss fight of Cliff is fucking awesome. Just like the darkness. Now, of course, Unfortunately, the boss in Darkness, of course, they weren't really good. As like, it's better than Death Stranding any day, which is kind of a shame because when you face the Darkness itself, it wasn't really good. But granted, I really love its visuals and I love his dialogues too. It's so fucking good. In Darkness. Now back to Death Stranding. Now, Death Stranding is a really good game, and I love its story of how it is. I feel like the only thing that kind of bugs me the most is, like, it felt like God of War, the new one, I mean, where it just felt a lot of these side quest stuff, and it's just like, it kind of felt like, And granted, yes, they could make a movie out of this, but again, I think it'll be much more better as a TV show. Because it's a really long story, because you have to cut it down to all these side quest stuff. Because just mainly that's what it is. And you focus on the main story of it, it won't really matter because it's fucking long as shit. The story itself, I mean, it's really long. And also you have to add some action to it. And also some, the cliff scenes. Honestly, if I were the director of it, if I were directing a movie of Death Stranding, of course, I will basically cut down all the side stuff, cut some characters, but add some of the characters in it. Not all of them, just some of them. The main important characters, that's really important. Of course, the main character will be Sam, and the villain will be, of course, Cliff. But turns out, he's like Darth Vader. You discover that he's actually not really a bad guy. He's just lost his way. And you're trying to put him back together. Keep him close to society. And you just really feel bad for Cliff. Because Bridges is the one who caused all this. Bridges is the one who killed him. And it's the one thing I didn't really like the final boss too. Because literally the final boss is a fucking whale. Okay, a whale BT. And I love how the beginning, when you first met the boss, the final boss though, where you're facing a bunch of random BTs, where you random two fucking lions, and you ran like an army of BTs and stuff. It's like, what the fuck? It's building up to something awesome. But it really just ended up of a whale, a giant whale. Great. It's just so disappointing because I would love to have Amelie as the final boss fight. Now, granted, of course, yes, she's a good person, but still, huh? She literally caused, spoilers alert, fucking Christ, but this is something that really bugs me, that, like, how do you treat her as still a person? You fucking serious? She's a fucking psycho. Like, are you kidding me? She literally caused the Death Stranding, control the BTs, and started the separatists. Even that's why Higgs has all those powers, thanks to him. And she also lied about all this promises, making false promises, and lied to her teeth, to Cliff and all that, to his family. And man, is it so sad. Now, granted, yes, it is part of her plan, but this is really fucked up plan, don't you think? You would think that Sam would, like, kill her, you know what I mean? Well, like, fuck her up. It puts her sense in her goddamn brain. Jesus Christ, the fuck is wrong with her? You fucking bitch. Oh my god, I do not like that character. Like, I get it, like, but she treats it like it's her destiny, dude. That's like Thanos shit right there. It's like, granted, yes, that's good character arc where she thinks she's doing the right thing, but really she's not, and that's where you have to draw the line. And it's weird how Sam's taking all this. I'll be pretty pissed too. I'll be pretty pissed off the fact that Amelie literally betrayed. He did this to him, who ruined his life. God damn. Now, granted, I really wish in the ending scene when you show Cliff what really happened to Cliff, shows this scene in the third boss fight, the last boss fight of Cliff in the Vietnam Wars area. Show that scene, and then you just see Sam. Just couldn't comprehend of this. It's like the fact that Cliff is his dad, and just so sad, and just so horrible to you see him suffer like this, and it just makes when I saw the Vietnam scene after the end of it, I was really just pouring tears, and that's super hard for me to make me cry, because the only scene that actually really made me cry was Green Mile, and it still makes me cry in the Green Mile. And it succeeded very well, because movies are just like, they force you to cry, and they just make you treat like it's a sad movie and stuff. Like, I don't know you. Why the fuck should I care? It's just like, but the way they did with Cliff is so fucking perfect. Because the way they, like, in the beginning of the story, all you see but seeing is memories of Cliff. And you see him, he's like really good guy, He's so good. And you see the first boss fight, he's like, oh yeah? And then you see the second one, and you kind of feel bad for him. Because all he wants just to see is BB, and just save him. And which is really, he was trying to save his son, Sam, but it was far too late, unfortunately. And it's so sad when he said his name. He just felt so lost in the world. And it's so fucking sad. I really wish there was at least some sort of redemption for him. And man, I really wish there was a weakness to kill Amelie, because man, she was such a bitch. And I would love for her. For her to be the final boss fight to end this nightmare. Now, granted, of course, like she said, but that wouldn't stop anything. If the end of the world was still come. But still, it brings some closure. Of course, Sam, and that's the idea. Sam won't kill her. He'll more likely just keep her here. To just say that destroying anything will not solve our problems. You'll only just resort more worser. It'll become more worse than ever. To show that killing anything won't solve the problem, It won't solve anything. And I love that idea. And the idea of it, don't kill her. Just give her some closure in life that doesn't mean it's your destiny. That doesn't mean you don't have to do it. You're not forced upon this. And that's your choice. If you choose this, that is all on you. Like, that kind of ordeal, that will work so perfectly. But they have this weird, like, illusion of different endings, but they really don't. It's just the same ending. It's just one ending. And, like, hey, and then she realized her flaws, and she realized, like, all the stuff she really fucked up, and she wanted to make it up to Sam by reviving the BB. And not have this stupid, like, she say all these, like, metaphor lines or whatever, and just, like, shut the fuck up. Like, I want her to put some sense in her brain, because it seems like she doesn't have no sense in her brain. Like, granted, yes, I understand that you are stuck here. You have nothing to do. You're just, like, I have a rocker. But still, there are other stuff you could do to support. You are not alone in the world. You do realize this, right? It's like she treats it like she's stuck, like, she's not entirely, like, bored out of her mind. She has other people she could communicate with. Through the separatist group, of course. And it's just, like, it's so fucked up. It's like, are you kidding me? You jeopardize your own company and millions of other people of your own twisted game? What the fuck is wrong with you? And it's just like, it's not like she's she's like a creature or whatever. No, she's human. It's just that she's more than human. She's an extinction entity. Like, granted, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But why? Why? I would love for her to be the final boss. That's all I'm saying. Like, and then out of nowhere, and then you see Cliff actually damaged her because he found the weakness against her. Because of course, human bullets won't work, so it has to be something BT related bullets. So that makes a lot of sense because, you know, she's a ghost. So how can you kill a ghost? By using fucking ghost bullets. I don't know. Or that little knife thingy that cut her connections to the world. That would make a lot of sense. But whatever. I would just, honestly, I would rather she be the final boss. That way you could fight her with Cliff and his army. So that way you could get some help and stuff. That would be fucking badass. But whatever. It's whatever. But yeah, I just like, and granted, and also I was a big fan of Fragile. Like, granted, yes, she was alright character. She wasn't really, like, impactful for the plot, but she's, like, just kind of there. But she did help you for teleportation and stuff. I just kind of wish it was someone else. But whatever. And also, yeah, and especially that fucking stupid ass line. I'm fragile, but I'm not that fragile. It's like, fucking really, dude? It's like, oh my god. But at least it's better than that stupid pun that Amelie says, like Mario and Princess Peach. Shut the fuck up. I want to punch her in the fucking face. Jesus Christ. I mean the character, not the actress. I like the actress. She was a really good character. She was great at acting, dude. But yeah, it just felt like which I was suspecting that she was a villain. I think everyone was suspecting that Amelie was a villain. Because why the fuck else how the fuck else that explains it? That explains everything. Who caused the Death Stranding? Who controlled all the BTs? Who was with those how the separatists had those BBs? And which they don't. It was just a doll. And that makes a lot of sense. And that was pretty interesting how the way they do it. However, the only character that still wasn't, like, at least for me, wasn't really, like, interesting enough was, of course, Higgs. He's like, don't get me wrong, Higgs was a really badass boss fight. A badass villain looking. Like, look at this motherfucker. He's awesome. The fact that he could control BTs and stuff. And and of course, it wasn't just because he has dooms. It was because Amelie. Because of Amelie. Amelie gave him these powers. They gave him to control BTs. And that makes a lot of sense. But of course, I wasn't really a big fan, but I wasn't really a big fan of Higgs, because Higgs wasn't really like an interesting character, because he was just basically this guy, the Bowser dude, who's like in the way of Sam's goals. It's like, I kind of wish that he was like Cliff, where he's like, he fed up the world, so he wanted to destroy the world, so that way he can just like finally rest, and finally rest his mind and all that stuff, and like explain why he chose this, you know? Now, granted, yes, because of Amelie and stuff, but make it that kind of story, you know what I mean? They didn't really explain, they don't really show much character arc to Higgs, but whatever. And Sam, of course, was actually a really good character. I love how he is. It's so agreeable. I agree with him a lot, especially he speaks very wisely when it comes to these circumstances like this. And of course, I loved my favorite characters are like I really like Deadman, not just because it's Guillermo del Toro, but also I like him because his character is like he completely lost his sense of remorse and his humanity. And thanks to Sam, he changed his entire perspective. And that's so good for his character arc. And also I like Hartman. Now, to be fair, Hartman wasn't really there in the story half the time, except during the ending. But that's only the ending. I'm such a shame that they don't really like spend more time with him. You know what I mean? Right next to Guillermo del Toro and stuff. But whatever. But yeah, because I think Hartman was such a really interesting character. Because Hartman was such a really cool character to see and all that stuff. But whatever. And Mama, I really like her because I kind of wish Mama was like fragile and stuff, because where she could help you teleport, because you know she has the BB, or no, not a BB, her baby, which is like a BT, and that's fucking cool that she can, when she cut the cord, it'll make a lot more sense that she can let her baby take him to different dimensions. That would be fucking cool. But whatever. And then of course, oh, that's right, Die Hardman was such a really good character. That the fact that like when we discover in the end he's the one, he was more like forcefully killing. He killed Cliff. But man, it was sad. I feel bad for both of them. For Cliff and John, aka Die Hardman. And it's just so sad. I feel really bad for this guy. It's like he didn't deserve any of this. But yeah, such a really good character. But yeah. But yeah, all in all, the Death Stranding is a really good game. I think you should play it if you think as like a chilled game. As like you do some side stuff here and there. Or if you really want to watch the story, then watch it on YouTube. You could look it up, the Death Stranding movie, and you could watch the whole thing, the whole story of it. And it's really entertaining. It's a really good story, and I really wish there was more to it. To have some closure of Cliff, but unfortunately there wasn't. So yeah, so it's a pretty good game all in all. So, however, this did lead to this one conclusion. It freakishly reminded me of Agony, where Agony is a really, really interesting concept game, and it's been working on for a long time, for years. And unfortunately, this game was really bad. Very bad. Not bad as Death Stranding, though. I'm glad it wasn't like that. But yeah, it was very bad. It was super bad. But I'm glad it wasn't that bad in the end. But yeah, so if that's the case, let me know what you think about it. Leave a comments below, and I'll consider it. Then, thank you. Oh yeah, and subscribe and share to anyone, even those weirdos. So yeah, have a good day.